are starting off with the group stages, and it is already going to be exciting. We have a best of three between IG Vitality and Team Random, the former Team Wings, and we are already underway with the draft. I'm Android, being joined by the lovely Brax. What's up, man?
Not much, just ready for some great games. IGV Team Random, also known as Wings Gaming, should be a good one.
Absolutely. I mean, starting off with the Tram Protector, they are certainly giving some love to that guy. Obviously, most recently added to Captain's Mode, but we're taking out Monkey King. He's not going to be making an appearance in Game 1.
Yup, no monkey, but they pick up the tree instead. You know, tree's been extremely popular in the Chinese region, much more than the other regions so far. And I think they have a pretty good understanding of how to play the hero. They're even willing to first pick tree when they know it can get counterpicked into something like Ember Spirit.
Yep, well, there's the Ember, so gonna be burning down some logs here, but still strong draft overall. Vengeful Spirit picked up for IGV. Do you think we're gonna see Venge Core here, or is it for sure gonna be support?
I actually have no idea. I think it'll be a core with the tree, but I'm not sure. I've seen traditionally they like to play the really tanky cores with the tree armor, but I don't know if they'll opt to go for that route when they're playing against something that breaks armor so easily. Like I've seen them playing a lot of Viper, a lot of Abaddon with the Tree and Protector.
Okay, that could be a pretty strong combo. I would definitely like to see that. In terms of what's being picked up recently here, Team Random, aka Wings, have definitely been getting into the Troll Warlord. Lots of Juggernaut still available in the pool. In fact, both teams really liking their Juggernaut lately, mid and core. So something we could potentially see as the picks go later. When's the ideal time to pick a Juggernaut in your lineup? Last pick, third pick?
I think a carry like Juggernaut would traditionally come out somewhere in the third and fourth pick. That's kind of the area where like you've already shown your hand, you know, this kind of complements your draft, and if you don't pick it here, it's probably going to get banned out. It's also another hero that is pretty good against the Train Protector armor. His spin breaks the armor pretty quickly. He's got multiple ways to get out of the root, so not bad at all.
Okay. So ban out on the Invoker. IG Vitality have been picking them up a little bit. Sakata sometimes playing it, but really favoring the Lina, the Shadow Fiend, Outworld Devourer recently being picked up a lot for IGV. So, I mean, is there any really strong pick for mid that you're seeing here that's just golden, or do we have to wait a little bit longer?
I'm actually curious because well, I think the mid will come out pretty quickly here, but I want to see if they'll play Viper. They usually play Viper
Viper.
with the Tree and Protector. That's right, the mod special, the big slow tank Snake Man. But yeah, he's gotten some love recently with some talent buffs, and he's actually not the worst hero anymore. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he'll be faring up against Ember Spirit, which, he can deal with that. That's not too nasty for him. Burn him right back.
Yep, pretty good matchup for the Viper for sure. But okay, Earthshaker with the Ember Spirit and Dazzle so far.
All right. They
Can't
have
say that one was expected at all.
No, I mean, in terms of position fours and fives, we've been seeing a lot of Warlock, Earth Spirit, Monkey King coming out for random, but not a whole lot of Earthshaker in the last couple of months. So maybe it's something they've been drilling. Of course, everyone's been boot camping pre-majors, so probably practicing some new strats. And yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. IGV moving on. They snap up the Centaur, no surprises there. They do love to pick that up for their offlaner pretty frequently.
Yep, Centaur Warrunner is still a very strong hero. The Stampede's utility is pretty much unmatched in terms of utility in Dota. You know, you give everyone on your team complete haste.
Yeah, it'll make
Pretty good.
potentially squishier heroes like the Venge even just a little bit stronger. So IGV still holding their cores close to their chest. Team Random, we got an early Ember Spirit pick as it was likely to get banned out, but still waiting on their safe lane core. And I'm assuming this is going to be a position for Shaker and not an off lane, but you never know.
Yeah, you really have no idea, honestly, because in a normal game, I would assume it's a position, you know, support Shaker. But I don't feel like Shaker and Dazzle can do a lot to Centaur with the help of Tree if Tree wants to go down there or even just armor him up. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna be able to touch him at all. Centaur's gonna have a great time. So we'll just have to see how they like to play it. I really want to know why they felt like, you know, oh, this, you know, prime Shaker setup right here. Yep, we got everything we need. I just really want to understand.
Yeah, I mean, who does Shaker combo notoriously well with? The only combo I've really seen is Shaker Rubik as a roaming duo, but with Dazzle already picked up, that doesn't seem viable.
Yeah, I mean, Shaker traditionally, they play him to kind of protect the lanes. When you have like that Shadow Fiend and they go to dive him, Shaker comes in, drops out the fissure. He turns, gets a kill or whatever. But he might just be there to kind of enable the
Oh,
mid laner. All right, Brewmaster. Okay, this is kind of the Wings special, right? This is their hero.
all right. Yeah, I mean, looking at their picks in the last month and a half, they haven't picked this up in competitive, but that's not to say it isn't incredibly strong right now. I mean, do the talents really make Brewmaster a little bit better? Because he wasn't given a whole lot of love pre 7.0.
I think the only change with the most recent talent change for him was that his pandas when he ults gain 2,000 more health instead
Yeah.
of armor. I mean, that's a lot of health, but once you take away the armor, unless you really have those, well, you can build armor, so it's not the end of the world. But still, they don't do a whole lot. They kind of are clunky, slow. I don't know. Mixed feelings about the hero for sure. And IGV respond with the Warlock, another fantastic team fighter.
Yeah, that's Super's most picked hero in the last 3 months. He's just been playing it all over competitive. So IGV, last pick for them. Team Random get one more ban against them. Again, assuming they're still looking for their safe laner. Jug, Weaver, Lifestealer, all really popular here. They're going to ban out the Alchemist. So
Okay,
IGV.
Alchemist and DP. DP was also another Wings hero back at TI. Blink had the innovative build where he actually, I think he kind of started it, right? He had like the Blink Dagger DP build. It's pretty cool to see. She also received some love later, or in this most recent patch. Shadow Fiend for IGV. Okay.
All right, so we are looking at the Core Venge.
Yep, we've got the Core Venge Shadow Fiend duo. Pretty strong.
Team Random.
I think Team Random are in some trouble, actually. I don't really see how they're going to be able to combat the team fight from IG Vitality. You have Shadow Fiend and Venged, two pretty strong tanky range cores. Once they pick up BKBs, Team Random actually have 0 damage between their heroes. And they've got heroes like Warlock and the Treant Protector to help them get there. Looks tough.
Yeah, I mean, Random, they've got to pick a core here that's pretty independent, doesn't really need a whole lot of babysitting, because IGV, they're going to get active really early, and you got to have someone that can just farm and not deal with all that wad of damage coming at you. So, any obvious picks you're thinking of, or is this just really a
Um,
random choice?
so the Slark has a pretty good matchup. Okay, Troll Warlord, here we go. That's exactly what I was going to say next. How'd they know?
It is Shadow's most picked hero in the past month, so definitely something he's been practicing on. Wings are really used to this strat, but the Brewmaster and the Earthshaker, haven't seen these two big boys run together.
Yep. This is definitely kind of, it's their thing, right? They play this Brewmaster. They played it in the past with Invoker, where he just kind of hits towers, kills them real fast with Alacrity. But now he has the demolish damage. It's the same with the it's the same total damage without any bonus damage, so it's fine. I don't know. It's okay. It's not fantastic, but he hits buildings pretty hard.
He certainly does. I mean, if Team Random's actually able to get up and get that push going, you've got Dazzle Weave making you strong as hell. You can just sit there and smack them. Ember Spirit can probably bring out a fair amount of split push while that's going on. Team Random can take towers quickly, but you called it out. IGV are just this wall of team fight, and you've got Centaur ult keeping everyone tanky. Warlock has just got that big stop sign in the form of his ultimate, so this is going to be pretty tricky. I mean, in terms of just draft overall, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses we're going to see?
So, like I talked about earlier from IGV, they have some massive team fight on their heroes, but they do also have very long cooldowns. The Warlock ultimate, it's a 165-second cooldown, and that's pretty much their big, that's their spell that they throw out to kind of turn the fight when Team Random jump them. And Team Random, Troll Warlord, extremely high physical damage, with his ultimates, good Roshan potential. Uh, I don't know. It's tough to call. Team Random, they do have Ember Spirit, who's pretty elusive, and there's a lack of easy to hit stuns on IG Vitality. Tree can right click out of the invis for a stun, but if Ember Spirit's jumping around, he's going to be hard to lock down. Um, I don't know. It really just depends on what each team tries to do first. I feel like IG Vitality have a pretty big advantage in the lane phase right now. They have the winning matchup in the mid, the Shadow Fiend versus Ember Spirit. It's like a 65-35 matchup in favor of the Shadow Fiend, I would say, unless the Ember can snowball with some early kills.
Yeah, I mean, even if Dazzle babysits him, is that going to be enough to just give him a head start?
It'll definitely help a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of like Shadow Fiend's inevitably going to get these souls, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. You can help your Ember secure a couple last hits, maybe the first and second wave, but in the end, SF is still going to get everything he needs in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to watch out for heroes like Troll that'll notoriously just go in their lane for a little bit. They can dip into the jungle, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes, they just walk at you with like 3 items, and you didn't even notice them getting big. So, something IGV has to keep their eyes on. But like you mentioned, I think they just have a really well-paced draft. I think they're going to be pretty strong in the early levels in the laning phase, just like you talked about. But as we move towards the mid game, if they can actually combo their ultis right and get Team Random where they want them, this is looking real good for IGV. Hopefully we are getting underway soon. We had a little bit of a pause here, but looks like we are ready to get into the game. Again, this is going to be a best of 3 as the very first match of the Kiev group stages. How excited are you, Brax?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what these two teams have to offer. Both of these teams are very strong, in my opinion. They looked very well at the last whatever tournament that was, not the major.
DSE?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, so starting off with some China versus China, but next up we are going to shake it up a little bit. It's going to be China versus NA as we have DC, the former Onyx, playing up against Newbie. So that's going to be next up after this best of 3, but there is still a whole lot of Dota to get through before that. We are going to be starting off with game number 1. Again, welcome to the Kiev Major. Good luck, have funds come out as everyone is just ready to get underway with this.
Yep, it looks like Team Random, they don't smoke a level 1. Usually most teams do, unless they're very, short on the items or whatever. Shaker, tons of clarities, wind lane, swords up the mid lane, looks like he wants to... Oh, okay, so it's the troll mid, not the Ember.
Okay, that's going to be
interesting, switching it up.
pretty nice, yeah.
Ember Spirit actually has a really, really good matchup against Centaur. It's one of the heroes that pretty much can ignore double edge in the lane. Like if Centaur wants to get aggressive at all, Flame Guard pretty much blocks all of it, and then Centaur sitting there at half health just gets owned.
So in July, going to have a tougher lane. What about the Shadow Fiend? How's that troll matchup going to change things for him?
It doesn't really change anything for the Shadow Fiend, actually. Maybe Troll will decide to dip out into the jungle earlier, or maybe he'll get really aggressive at level 2 with the Shaker coming in and the Whirling Axes. But for the most part, it should be a pretty good lane for Shadow Fiend, especially if Tree has early levels into armor.
Yep, Tree going to be starting out, just holding his point. Usually we see the Nature's guys picked up if he wants to get sneaky, really wants to help Paparazzi in lane with a couple of stuns, but we'll see. A couple of early hits of damage may force him into armor.
Yeah, he's got the Orb of Venom on the Treant Protector. I'm assuming he's going to start with the Invis and just zone the Brewmaster pretty much. It's so hard to deal with if you're just an offlaner playing against a Treant Protector. He just comes and punches you and you can't do anything to him.
Yeah, Brewmaster, definitely a bit of a daunting task here, but this is Faith Beyond, one of the best offlaners in the entire scene. So I got faith in him, starting off with the Poor Man's Shield. He should be able to take a couple of punches. As we said, down bottom, it will be the Ember Spirit and the Dazzle versus a Warlock, and In July on our Centaur. But, man, yeah, this Flame Guard already making it difficult for In July to do much.
Yep, they're just pushing the lane and trying to avoid any aggression so they can pretty much pull freely.
Yep.
But up top, oh man, this is some tough stuff. We got Treant Protector. He's getting hazed.
Yeah, he went with the Leech Seed first, and not going to go with that Nature's Guys to get the old 1-2 stun, but instead just trying to keep that slow, steady damage and allow for Venge to get a little more free farm.
Yep. The Drunken Haze costs pretty much no mana now. Very nice for trading hits with supports like this.
Man, in this mid lane, Shadow Fiend is definitely getting a couple of clubs to the face there. Shadow keeping on point, trying to make sure that Shadow Fiend can't rake in the souls. Only 4 for himself. Very different than those starts we see where there's a clockwork and you're denying cogs pre-horn and you already start out with like 15 souls.
Yeah, that's totally ridiculous when he starts the lane with like 70 damage.
So Sakata having to play a little bit safer as the ranged axe can definitely do a number to him. He's a little bit squishy starting off, but still has 2 tangos left for himself.
Yep, this is actually pretty interesting to me. IGV, they have the dual offlane with the Centaur and the Warlock, but they actually blocked the side camp. That means that they can't really pull back the lane or anything. Wings can get much more experience and gold out of the lane just by single pulling and farming that. But yeah, I don't know about that. It's different for sure than what I'm used to seeing.
We got dogfights just kind of walking around here, stacking up some camps, punching some neutrals, and just plopping down a ward or two. But overall, things a little bit calm now with Earthshaker roaming into the mid. Could have seen some blood there. Fissure clips him on the wrong side, so Sakata just takes the long walk around, and well, everyone just goes back to farming. Our last hit leader is going to be Troll by a pretty significant margin. 15 last hits for himself, only 6 for the Shadow Fiend. That's got to hurt.
Yeah, Troll off to a fantastic start. He actually might go down here with the Shaker Fissure. Here it comes.
Yep, Whirling Axes come in, but looks like Sakata might be able to get away. How deep does Shadow want to dive? He takes 2 tower hits, and that's going to be enough to force him back there. Pops on his salve and just goes right back to farming. So, well, in terms of overall CS, he's still doing really nicely.
Yeah, very close. His range Whirling Axis were on cooldown by like half a second.
Ooh. Got a stun down here. Blink is just going to be walking himself back, taking a little bit of damage, but should be able to eat through it. The mana is starting to be an issue, though. He can't keep his Flame Guard up all the time. Might have to be a little bit sparing with that.
Yep, luckily for him, he's got that nifty mango.
Up in the top, we do have Ice rotating back in, maybe seeing if he can help this push out. Faith Beyond has not really felt too much heat, still keeping himself up in the wave, finds his level 3. Obviously not ideal CS, but definitely not completely forced out. Now, there are just going to be a couple of punches here as Ice's sneaky positioning was found out by our tree, and they're just going to keep slapping it out, and Faith Beyond no longer getting any farm.
Yep, we got some action on the sidelines here. Both teams pretty much trying to enable their offlaner, give them as much as they can get. And this mid lane is a bit worrying. Shadow Fiend quite low on the last hits here, and Shaker's kind of just hovering around the mid lane looking for any kill opportunities here.
Yeah, I mean, how bad is bad for Shadow Fiend? What are timings that he should be hitting? What are items that he needs to be picking up early and that he's not getting right now? And this Dazzle's going in pretty deep. They find Super here, going to clip him with the Fissure. They do get the poison touch off. He immediately goes for the Shadow Word heal. And now with Sakata moving forward, it's just enough to threaten these supports back.
Yeah, well, you were asking about how bad is. This is bad. But he's getting to the point where Troll looks like he wants the jungle. He's got that Iron Talon. I think he's just going to farm that camp and go back and forth between the lane, get the extra experience on the Shaker. Or maybe he'll just choose the full-time jungle. Either way, this is when Shadow Fiend will pretty much catch up and get where he wants to be.
Yep, Shaker's still sitting in for his level 2, hoping for that level 3. He's done a lot with Fissure, but does really just need to start sitting back and really working up to that level 6. So, no first blood being shed around the 5-minute mark. Still, everyone pretty much just focusing on themselves, focusing on their own farm. We talked about Sakata catching up, but man, it's a long road. Still only 17 last hits for him compared to Troll's almost 40 at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, Troll's off to a fantastic start here, and it's only going to get worse and worse as he just heads to the safety of his own jungle. Pretty hard to gank in there.
Yep, picked up a 6, but doesn't have the Battle Trance. Is that typical, or do you usually snap it up right when you get it?
This is pretty typical for like a farming build. Usually you don't get it right away. It's kind of like a player preference thing. They get it whenever they feel like it'll be useful. I think game is pretty slow right now, but this bottom lane's about to get dangerous once Ember hits his level 6. Then he's got tons of kill potential on the lane.
Yep, Ember's sitting back, farming really nicely. Going to be second on the CS chart with 38 to his name. Keeping the Centaur back in July, still getting some alright farm for himself. Almost has his level 6 as well, but ooh, in the river? Got a Fissure catching out Super, but he'll just make his way up. We do have 4 Radiant heroes now crawling around this bottom jungle, leaving our Brewmaster to himself, but it looks like they do want to get active here in this bottom lane, maybe catching out in July as Ember Spirit just hits his 6.
Yep, I imagine this is the place First Blood will happen this game. It's definitely the place with the most kill potential from Team Random.
Yep, they go in, they start things off with a stomp, but knowing they can't get too greedy there, Blink pops on, gets the Searing Change, they're locking down Super in place, blasting him with a Remnant, and that will be first blood towards Blink here, getting things started off nicely. Meanwhile, mid lane, you've got Troll coming back in, keeping the harass onto Sakata. So right now, things looking good for Team Random, but of course, we talked about IGV having those big ults, and once all the level 6s come out, this could be a very different game.
Yep, definitely. Ember Spirit very dangerous in the lane once he hits that level 6. So, let's talk more about the Shadow Fiend. We talked about how he was off to a pretty rough start CS-wise, but I don't think he really feels pressured at all. Like, he's not really too afraid of Shaker coming and killing him with Fissure, as long as he's somewhat defensive. Same with Dazzle. Like, they don't really have heroes to kill him. So, he knows that he's going to get what he needs this game, pretty much no matter what. But as I said, of course, Shaker's walking in, kind of hovering around.
I was
No
about to
Fissure
call
fight.
you on that caster's curse, but it looks like Sakata will play this one safe.
Yup, I am curious to see when Tree wants to do Tree things. I feel like he I don't know, he's conflicted right now. He wants to zone this Panda, this Brewmaster, stop him from getting a pretty early 6 and everything, but Brewmaster just hazes him, then beats him up with his stick. Not a whole lot Tree can do about that.
Yep. Mid lane, Sakata finally getting his Ring of Aquila up and running. Already has that double damage rune in the bottle, so I mean he's gonna be hitting pretty hard, getting pretty aggressive, but still has to find something. Now down bottom, we do have a Fissure blocking an Angel. Goes for the stomp, does not have enough mana for the Stampede, but doesn't really matter as Blink's not gonna commit to that.
Yep, Angelai has the hood completed now. He's very, very tanky. The magic damage. Uh-oh, Invis are in mid-shadow and Sakata.
Yeah,
Alright.
he goes in, realizes he's a bit over his head, and just backs right out, forces the Shadow Word onto the Shadow Fiend, but again, everyone on random just farming up nicely. Switching over to our net worth chart here. Troll and Ember topping things out, just really keeping things going, and Centaur is actually top of the chart for IG Vitality. Certainly not ideal to have your Shadow Fiend down middle of the pack.
Yep, SF not off to the best start, but you know, he'll do his thing. He's gonna hit jungle creeps no matter what his start was pretty much, and he'll be farming pretty much no matter what. It looks like Wings are smoking up the top lane. Yep, we got Dazzle and the Shaker heading up there. Maybe Ember would like to join them. Maybe not actually, he's got no port.
Yeah, I think Ember's just completely content continuing to dominate the Centaur, and well, Paparazzi's got the goop drunken haze on him, and Faith Beyond just goes in, slaps the clap. There will be a stun thrown out. Paparazzi gonna get stampeded back, and it looks like there's just no catch, as Dire will be able to escape this. You got Pandas coming forward, but well, they'll just regroup and maybe push the tower a little bit. Meanwhile, still good farm going the way of Team Random in the mid and bot lane. Got a little bit of a tussle going forward. Look at that sleight of fist going out. There is going to be a full hood up on our Centaur, keeping him nice and healthy up against Blink.
Yep, that's kind of what I was worried about. The
Ooh.
Stampede definitely counteracts
Shadow.
that movement, but they're smoked up mid, huh?
Yeah, they'd
Shadow's
really like to
looking,
go for Troll here. They do get a stun. They get the Leech Seed off as well. There's a TP in from the Brewmaster, but they know he doesn't have ult. It looks like Shadow just wants to take out Sakata with him. There will be a swap back, trying to go in with the Requiem. It will clip down the Troll, and now Faith Beyond going to get stunned up by the Venge. Grave comes out just in time by Y. That could have been a complete disaster. It looks like Paparazzi still chasing, has that wave of terror. Can he get in range of it? Shooting it out, but just barely misses. So Paparazzi won't find a kill there. Meanwhile, there is going to be a chase up. Ice does make it to his shrine, and they're just going to keep slapping each other down. Dogfights, camping near the trees, goes Invis, and, well, they go for the Fissure. Can they actually get him down? Trees certainly overstayed his welcome, as Blink comes in to deforest, and everyone just shrines back up, so after a very long-winded fight, they do make a good trade, but I don't really know if that's enough to get IGV way back up on the charts.
That was very, very awkward with the swamp up top. Shadow making his move on the super here. Out comes the ult. Can he get the bash? There's
Oh.
one bash.
Sure can. First hit right there.
Alright. That's all I needed, just one bash. Nice pick up there. Warlock was trying to hit his level 6. He actually has it. He had the tome, but you know, sometimes free experience, gotta stick around. That engagement was so awkward. Like, Shadow Fiend was totally fine, then Bench swaps SF. SF kind of freaks out, moves back and forth for a little bit, doesn't really realize what was going on. Starts channeling the ultimate again, then he's got like 100 HP and a Shaker just runs him down. It was so strange.
Definitely a little bit clowny here, but both teams just kind of finding their legs so far in the tournament. Got to be a lot of pressure here. First game of the Kiev Major, and they're going up against very well-practiced opponents. So, Dogfights defending top, just going to be spamming out that living armor on the tower. Only has 1 point in it, opting to get 3 points in Nature's Guise. Is that a build you agree with, or you think living armor should take more of a priority?
I definitely think that's fine. They have the Ember Spirit Flame Guard to break armor anyways.
Ooh,
And Ice in some danger here.
sure is. Looks like he's trying crawling around trying to be sneaky, but Dogfights is just going to go. Oh, they're going to punch him up. They've got Swap and Stun for days. Now Shadow moving forward. They're going to drop the Warlock ult. Connects onto 2. Shaker is able to drop his ult, and it looks like Dogfights is able to get a heal. Pandas are splitting. They're trying to go in, but a little bit of confusion on who they're focusing. Dogfights gets away after a really nice overgrowth, and there looks like they will eventually lose their Warlock. Golems aren't going to be super successful here, so Radiant do still get a kill out of it, but they have to trade. Support for support. Gold-wise barely comes out in IGV's favor, but with this tower going down, it looks like Random should be taking the win on this.
Yep. Team Random pretty much dedicating almost all their heroes. They brought 4 heroes up to the top lane to secure that fight. Vlad's on the troll. He's got 19 armor and 1300 HP now with the magic wand. Very, very tanky troll warlord. But it looks like IG Vitality want to make the move to the enemy safe lane tower as well. This tower's already extremely low thanks to Centaur pretty much just smacking it the whole time.
Yeah, they get a scan on Faith Beyond here, and they know he doesn't have any split, so they go in, Wave of Terror clips, and they've got vision. They do have to crawl around and deal with tower shots, but Paparazzi is sure tanky, so they go in, and this is just a massacre. There is absolutely no way that Brew got out.
Yep, he tried to bring out the juke shoes in the trees there, but it's not enough.
So, 2 heroes on Team Random just kind of cowering behind the tower. They go, they clip the fissure onto Sakata, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really stop them. They have In July postured here for any aggressive TPs, but they won't find anything, just a free tower. In terms of net worth, things starting to even out a little bit more. Troll's still at the top of the chart, but Centaur and Shadow Fiend starting to really hold their own.
Yeah, you can see the difference here between the Centaur and the Brewmaster in terms of net worth. Just with, just with the lane setup here, Centaur is extremely farmed right now. Hood, Blink Dagger, 13 minutes. He's so tanky right now. And Blink actually has quite the interesting build here on Ember. He chose to rush the Blade Mail, and he's got Eul's queued up in his quick buy as well. He just wants pretty much fighting items. We usually see like Veil and the bots is the most common build, I would say. But it's not always the, the strongest fighting build here. Blade Mail definitely very hard to deal with right now. Kind of shows you what he kind of wants to go for. They just want to fight. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, just saying that he picks up a double damage there. So right now you don't really want to mess with Ember Spirit, who's going up top. Looks like for a solo gank onto Dogfights, and yeah, they're trying to get some serious fire going, but lack of detection stifles him once again, and Dogfights are just going to be sliding into the mist here.
Yep, looks like they do want to set up on this Ember Spirit top lane. His Flame Guard is running out.
Yeah. They go in, they get the punch. There is a stomp, but Flame Guard eats up a good amount of it. They hold him in place, and there's going to be that Blade Mail. Dogfights, what are you doing, bro? Oh no. Kills himself on the Blade Mail. That's unfortunate.
Alright. Sometimes that happens, but in the end they get the Ember Spirit kill.
Yep.
Can't be too upset about that one. And I feel like if that play didn't happen, then Team Random would be like on mid tower and bottom tower right now, trying to force IG Vitality to use their ultimates to kind of fight them. They have the split up, but IGV smoke up right now. They want to punish this split aggression from Team Random.
Yep, they're going in. The Core Ven is starting to stack up. Goes for a second Hood of Defiance. They've already got a Hood on the Centaur, but realizing that magic damage is just going to be a little too powerful this game, so stacking up, getting that Venge nice and tanky.
Oh, Team Random know this. They see the ward placed and they have a sentry there. This could be really, really bad for IGV.
Yep, super caught out. Go for the Sleight of Fist. Not going to clip him, but, well, everyone's just going to back off. A little bit of no man's land here in the mid. Faith Beyond gets hit on by that Wave of Terror, but that's not really an initiation point. Can't go for that YOLO swap just yet.
Yep, Team Random pretty much revealed the fact that they have the majority of their heroes in the mid lane now. Everyone except for the Ember, who can easily make it back. But IGV, pretty much, they're farming. They're pushing these lanes out. Tree almost has his Hand of Midas. Excellent item. We'll see tons of Hand of Midas this tournament, that's for sure. And, I mean, they're not freaking out. They see all these heroes grouped up mid. They know that it's not worth them to, defend. They can't take these fights convincingly right now. They know they just have to scale, get their items. SF has a Shadow Blade. He's not really ready to fight. He kind of he just wants to farm. He's got his BKB queued up, wants to get to his next item.
They'll get there eventually. Faith Beyond getting very, very close to that Blink Dagger. I mean, how is Blink Panda going to change things? Because so far, our splits have not been super ideal. Faith Beyond having a little bit of kill participation, but For a Brew that got a decent amount of farm in lane, it feels like we should be feeling him a little bit more.
Yeah, once he gets the blink, it'll definitely help Team Random start these fights a bit better, but of course there's still the Centaur ultimate to kind of disengage once the split comes out, so it's hard to say how effective it's really going to be. And they just can't do anything about this tree split pushing top lane. He's been sitting in his happy place for a good, 5 minutes now, just whacking creeps. He's almost got his Midas. Actually just finished it.
Yep, grabs his Midas, heads in towards mid, so you got all 5 heroes now concentrated, and it looks like they're ready to go. All their ults are up, and we talked about IGV just having that big drop the ult moment, and a good, strong first team fight could really help secure this game for them.
Yep, and they've also itemized extremely tanky with the double hoods coming out on their heroes. It's going to take that much more power to actually bring them down. But Team Random, they're smoked up mid lane. They want jump.
Yep, they're going in, showing off that Blink Dagger with style. There will be the golems dropped out. Centaur ult trying to get everyone away. Venge, even with the hood, still getting focused. She's going to swap her way to Freedom as there's an overgrowth coming in. Requiem dropped. So far, there's only 2 casualties here. Venge goes down, Earthshaker as well. Injulide's going to get poison touched up. This Dazzle is so gosh darn low, only has 1 grave. Does he save himself or his teammates? A little Sophie's choice going on. He will be putting it onto the Troll Warlord as Faith Beyond is still fighting after that split ends. And this Blade Mail keeping Blink alive, diving back in with another Remnant, but even with the double damage rune, still taking a ton here. Can't quite get the kills he needs, and it looks like Blink might have to hop out of here sometime soon. Gets punched up one more time, but will be able to run to freedom. So after a very messy fight, I mean, what even happened there?
And it was just great execution from Team Random. They were smoked up on the hill. Fissure clipped 2 heroes into the Blink Clap and ultimate from the Brewmaster. Of course, Stampede disengaged a bit, but Ember caught a hero with the Slight Chains combo. But honestly, that's a win for IGV. Their tower is standing healthy.
Yep. Push coming in now as Troll's ready to go. They bring Ember forward. Dogfights trying to solo defend this, just going in. Popping out an optimistic heal. There will be a TP back in from Cicada, but he's running a little bit low on souls. They go in, they get 2 heroes with the stomp, and this is a nice chance to focus down the Brewmaster, and they get blinked by his lonesome. He's going to be remnanting back in front of the tower. There's a swap back in as they want to get this started. Shadow completely isolated, unable to be saved, and now Dazzle, even with the Grave, can't get out of there. Just doesn't have time to cast it off. So all 5 heroes of IGV make their hold in the mid lane. They get 3 heroes that they really wanted, and this tower is going to be theirs, so big win coming out of the Dire team.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent team fight there. SF TP's into the middle of the tower. He knows he's relatively safe with Centaur standing behind him, and he's got the Shadow Blade under his own tower. So it's pretty difficult for them to, stick on to him. And now they're heading, they're kind of hovering around the Roshan pit. I don't know if they'll do it. There is no Brewmaster split for 15 seconds. It's not looking like it's long enough, though. They're going to head back and just farm for now.
Hopping towards the mid, Dogfights can't resist the opportunity to go in and get aggressive. Ice drops the Fissure, but that's not going to be enough. They go forward. There will be an overgrowth. The Shallow Grave may just be enough to keep Earthshaker alive. Faith Beyond does now have that split, pops it immediately. Troll ult comes through. Everyone's hitting hard, hitting fast. It's not enough to save their Earthshaker, but will it be enough to turn this fight? They've got vision on Dogfights, but he sure is speedy. Walking right out of there. They can't get the TP on Super canceled, so they're just going to go push out their lane while Dogfights is just a huge nuisance.
Uh-oh, Dogfights are going to get caught as well. Walked away from the tree. And now it's Team Random that's looking at Roshan.
Yep, they're bringing it down pretty quickly. IGV, they've got
Warlord.
2 in the grave, and yeah, this thing is melting. They are going to be bringing in Venge. Again, she does have that hood and the medallion, but that's going to be a risky swap for you, girl.
Jesus.
Oh, they're going for it. All right, double hoods are coming out. Faith Beyond forced out of the pit. There's a swap back in. They catch him on the other side of the Fissure, and there's a glorious Warlock ult. Shadow is going to be caught there. Requiem clipping him down. Blink, he's got that Blade Mail rocking, but they're going to leave him alone until it expires. There is a TP attempt out from Dazzle, but it's canceled. There will be a Remnant all the way back. Blink does make it to a shrine, but they do have to give up the Roche and 2 of their heroes.
Yeah, Roshan's been donated to IG Vitality here.
What is
Man,
this
double
golem?
buybacks.
It looks like a mess. It looks like Cyborg Doom.
It looks like a box. Like one of those box monsters.
Well, either way, it's going to get its chance to go ahead and slap onto that tier 2 tower, as IGV just take a huge jump in net worth there, bringing things about 4,000 gold in their favor.
Yep, nice decisive play from them. Choosing to double buyback there. They know exactly how important this Aegis is for Troll Warlord or Ember's Predict. They don't have it. then they're not going to be able to survive when these big R buttons come out from IG Vitality. As we saw in that last fight, the Golem was dropped on like 4 heroes with the Shadow Fiend ult. Didn't even look close.
Yeah, just so much good combo coming out of IGV, and Team Random, again, it feels like in every fight they're just a little bit unclear on which target they're focusing. You've got kind of 2 fights going on sometimes, but I think as the game goes on, as items come out, we will see the cores be able to do a lot more. You've got Ember Spirit now with his full Yules, got the Boots of Travel online, Brewmaster, of course, 1,300 gold in the bank on top of his Blink. What does our Brewmaster go for next?
Typically Brewmasters go for like Vlads and stuff, but Troll built the Vlads already. He might realize that this game is not going at the pace they want, and he might go back for a Hands of Midas in hopes of getting some larger items later on in the game. Nice deny there.
Yeah,
Blink.
spicy deny right there. Blink really took his time with that one.
I don't know. There's not really a good item that's going to help him, so I would go Midas because he's not going to get to a big item that actually has an impact until much, much later into the game anyways, so why not just invest into, you know, bigger and better items? But he might just go for like the Aghanim, Shivas, or BKB, something that just helps him get his ultimate off pretty much and tank up for now. Because I'm pretty sure Team Random realize they have no hopes of team fighting the Shadow Fiend right now with BKB. Pretty much every tower IG Vitality walk at should be theirs for free.
In this top lane, we do have Treant getting rooted here. Blink trying to do his best, just... That's not Treant, that's Shadow Fiend. When he was invisible next to trees, I got confused, sorry.
Well, that's okay, he's got a bunch of green stuff hanging around him right now. So, this game has, I feel like Team Random hit a wall, kind of. They desperately needed that Roshan to keep progressing with their game plan, and now they don't have it, but at least Ice is farming the Blink Dagger up on a support Shaker, which is pretty good. He's 1 level away from his level 2 Echo Slam now, so we could surprise IGV with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a hell of a surprise to jump in, Echo Slam, like all 5 of them, and then have the follow-up and the will to not die immediately after. That's going to be what's difficult here, so... Well,
Yep.
Fissure just to tease him, but that tier 2 is done. A little bit of split push going on up top as Shadow's just wailing on this tower, and Blink can follow up. They've got TPs to get back to their base when they need to, so it'll be a tier 2 for tier 2 surprise, but this tier 3 is getting mighty low, and they're going in. The split to follow up. They're going to send out the remnants. There will be an overgrowth to hold them back as Troll. He's just going to dodge this one, does not want to fight, as you've got Blink just trying to scoot his way out of there, but the upheaval makes things quite difficult. Shallow Grave trying to hold him back, but oh, there we go. There's the dunk following up. It's going to be all 5 heroes clipped by the Fissure. They are able to pop the Aegis, but at what cost there? They're going in. Double Edge going to be thwarted there in July. Finally gets it going. They do have to get their Brewmaster down. Y taking some serious damage from those raises as well, but so far the tower's being held. These Fissures are hitting on everyone, and they're going back in. Faith Beyond gets back in the fight, goes forward. The Searing Chains connect onto a bunch, holding them back. This is huge for Team Random. That's going to be a triple kill now for Blink, and they're going to go in. They are not going to let this Centaur off with a warning. 4 heroes dead. It was costly, but they got exactly what they needed out of that.
Yep, gigantic Echo Slam in that fight, and the buyback from the Brewmaster there pretty much secured the cleanup on everyone else. Man, they played that fight so well on Team Random. The Brewmaster split went out, you know, IGV dropped the rock, upheaval, and they kind of kited backwards, but Team Random, they just waited it all out. Shaker finally found that big opportunity to drop the Echo Slam, and they just won the fight convincingly.
I got to admit, I don't think I believed hard enough in that first Blink Echo, but holy moly, the fact that he got it, was able to follow up with a Fissure and just do whatever he wanted. That was pretty fantastic, allowing for Blink to actually get in there and do the raw damage, Shadow helping out as well. So now we've got some pretty farmed cores on the side of Team Random, taking over the top 2 net worth slots.
Yeah, they played that fight so masterfully. Like, heroes that shouldn't go in waited until they found the right opportunity. Ember Spirit kind of baited with the Brewmaster just hanging out front with the Shallow Grave. You know, trying to bait IGV to come back in after they use their cooldowns, like their Black King Bar and everything. It was nice. Really nice.
Now IGV, they're up, they're regrouped, they're going to have all their ults up in 45 seconds when the golems come back. I mean, how do they not let that happen to them again? Do they have to spread out more in these fights? Do they have to have constant vision of Team Random?
They just need to, well, up top, just smoked. Oh, Dogfights avoids that one narrowly.
Yeah.
Staring danger in the... just staring at him pretty much, Jesus.
You could feel him. Their spidey senses were tingling, but Dogfights, man, he plays bold. He's backing off, taking out sentries as he goes.
Yep. It was the, they just need to be wary of their BKB timers. Like, SF felt pretty confident in that fight because he had Aegis, but once his BKB ran out, he was pretty much just gonna die twice once the Echo Slam comes through like that. So if they can avoid, you know, taking the fight like that, they kind of chased Brewmaster back in along with the Ember Spirit, and that was really what set up the big Echo Slam. And now all of a sudden, Blink almost has his Radiance, Troll Warlord almost has his BKB, even Ice on the Shaker, extremely farmed. He got 1400 gold off that last team fight. He had the Shadow Blade queued up, but he's like, no man, it's alright. I'm gonna get a Force Staff, I'll help you guys out of that, from the tree root. And it looks like Faith Beyond is going for the Aghanim Scepter. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna... this game is gonna definitely revolve around this next Roshan.
Yeah. Core is starting to get big. I mean, Matt, I'm just super impressed by this Earthshaker. It took him, what, like 25 minutes to finally scrape that Blink Dagger together, but as soon as he debuts it, he's now just rolling in it.
Yeah, definitely a massive team fight impact in the last one. And it's only gonna get scarier for him. But it looks like IGV, they're running it right down mid lane. Nighttime, that tower's at 300 HP. They want to pressure.
Yeah, all they gotta do is just lay in enough damage, but...
Shadow Fiend's sitting on 3,000 gold. That's 3,000 gold not being used to take the fight. Centaur, 2,000 gold at all. They're sitting on so much excess gold here.
Let's see if they can hold on to it here. Backdoor protection being broken. Fortify spent, as it looks like they really want to keep this tower up. It's going to be difficult there with July soaking up the hits. They just need one more, and it looks like they will use that return to their advantage. So, tower goes down. Shrine's now vulnerable, and that's going to mean just a little less Roche control for Team Random, and potentially a game-winning Roche for IGV if they can actually get in there.
Yeah, very good play to get that. They make it out there. It's just so scary to see your SF sitting on 3,000 gold, not ready to use it for the team fight. Same with your Centaur. He almost has his heart completed. But yeah, nice play for them. You know, towers at 300 HP. It's very, very difficult to defend a tower like that when it's literally just, you know, a tower killing itself on Centaur.
Yeah, it's just July walking around sponging damage at that point.
Right. How do they defend that without fully committing into a massive team fight? It's just not possible for them. And Centaur, he's got his heart, 3,000 HP with the pipe up now. Whew. This guy's looking pretty scary.
Yeah, he's a tanky boy. I mean, he started out super farmed, having one of the better offlane Centaur games. I mean, he had, what, like Blink Hood by, what was it, like 13, 14 minutes? It was super fast.
It was very, very farmed on his Centaur. Looked like he was in the safe lane.
So, we got IGV grouping up. Again, their Wombo combo's ready, all the ults ready to go, but fighting into Team Random, they've got to be careful, because clearly Team Random have got the skills to pay the bills here. Blink going for some split push up top, but they know he's not going to fully commit to that. They don't have to get too worried.
Yeah, they're not too worried about sending a hero up to ever deal with that, because they can just armor the tower up, no big deal.
They have kept this tier 1 up for altogether, like, way too long. This thing is...
it's so hard to bring these towers down against Treant Protector. IGV paying out the Roshan, pretty much all of them in the area. They know what's up, and they're just going at it right away. Butterfly completed on SF, very, very strong right now.
Yeah, look at this thing melt. You got Venge popping out that Solar Crest on it too, so that is just one of the quickest Aegises I've seen in a while. Right there onto Cicada, so they're ready to go in and push again. Scan's going to reveal that they're heading straight towards mid lane, and Team Random, they've got to posture up and get ready for this. Blink trying to soak in that last little bit of split push before he remnants back into the base.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried here for Team Random. Unless they can pull off another miracle team fight, it's looking pretty difficult. But of course, that Blink Dagger will not be a surprise, as they saw it last time, and they got completely annihilated by it.
Troll's 10-second BKB could be a pretty nice factor in this. Oh, they go in. They are going to be able to clip onto Shadow Fiend here, forcing him in and out of the fights. And, well, they do get his Yules burning up most of the duration on his Shadow Blade, but no, they're just going to walk away, playing this one safe. IGV definitely learned their lesson about clumping up and pushing a little too hard.
Yeah, both teams not really wanting to force it there. They both don't want to walk into these big team fight ultimates. They're just going to go back down to bottom lane, claim the free gold and the shrine. But it's tense, you know. Shadow Fiend wants to hit these towers, but Ember walks in, pretty much, you know, take Shadow Fiend down to half health, but neither team still can commit to the fight comfortably without being punished by the big R buttons.
Yep, so, I mean, the name of the game is just IGV playing as a group, kind of winding their way through the bottom jungle into mid lane while Blink goes in for split push top. I mean, he's just gotten so much farm out of, this little zone here, but eventually they've got to commit and actually get some structures down. If they can bust some tier 3s open, Team Random are looking really good.
Yeah, definitely, and they do have the tools to slay these tier 3 towers as well. The Troll ultimate, very, very good at killing towers. Alright, free tower here bottom for IGV, and it looks like Ember Spirit's heading back up to the top lane to get a split push on. Someone definitely will have to come back here. We got the Illusions and the Ember Spirit just cutting waves.
I mean, do they have to back? They've just got living armor. They're going to be going forward. Blink's the one retreating as In July is now trapped here, but again, this Centaur with a heart is pretty difficult to take down. He's able just to get forced back through that wall. We've got Paparazzi taking some damage from Brew Split, but Overgrowth not going to be the most impactful as now Ice is making his way forward, is still holding on to that Blink Echo. There's going to be a swap out. Paparazzi just wants to get some distance from this fight. Centaur still going to be held in place by that Wind Panda, but altogether just some ultis thrown out, but nothing real comes of it.
Yep, Bruce Split used, but base defended. Top tower received the beatdown thanks to these Troll Illusions. But yeah, it's just these fights are very difficult for both teams. They can throw out these ultimates, and then still, neither team really wants to commit for anything unless it looks absolutely ideal for them.
Treant Protector getting somewhat close to his Ags, about halfway there, going to be flying in the other half. So we're now going to have some eyes in the forest, a lot more vision to keep track of Team Random. So Troll's sneaky voyages into the jungle to get farm aren't going to be so sneaky anymore.
Yeah, Tree's eyes definitely change how the game is played. Wings pretty much need a gem on them at all times if they want to kill these things at all. And if they don't, they're just going to lose all map control pretty much.
Big smoke coming in, pinging out this mid lane. We'll see if they can go try to crack racks. I mean, they're really focused all in for this mid lane. They're still leaving that tier 2 top. I guess just trying to get that creep advantage.
Yeah, they definitely want to try to force something while they still have the Aegis. Maybe they can just have Centaur tank the bottom tower with his heart until it kills itself again, just like last time.
I mean, In July shouldn't really have a problem with that. You can see he's just eating tower shots like they're what's for dinner. Now Paparazzi getting close, does have that swap available if they want to isolate someone, but it's going to be pretty difficult to sink their claws in. Cicada gets taken down to half health, but still a couple of minutes left on that Aegis. Look at In July just not take damage. That is a Heart Solar Crest Pipe Centaur that just takes down a tower passively because it hits him.
He's pretty much got a whole full Shivas now too if he wants to buy it.
Alright, they're going in. This is the jump they go. They do a fair amount of damage to Cicada. There is going to be the Overgrowth to hold the Radiant back. They pop out the dust. They're trying to get the bashes onto Cicada, but there is going to be that Stampede away. In July, he finds himself a nice target here. They do have some good lockdown. Grave comes out onto Blink. It looks like Blink might just make it out here. Is able to run it back up to base. Cicada is going to get his Aegis burned as Ice drops another Fissure. Now, how do they reinitiate on this? Do they keep going through? Looks like the
Shrines. Still the Echo Slam they have to be careful of.
Yep. It's pretty tricky now. One less Aegis keeping Cicada up. But, I mean, In July is just the real target here because he can just casually sit back and eat up everything that Random can throw at them. Now, Super just chilling, channels the upheaval. It will be canceled by a Fissure, but there they go. They're able to find the tree. Now, In July going to be fighting. They drop the Golems on top of 2. Shadow getting low. Will take another Grave, but the Ember Spirit's down. He has buyback, and he's using it. He needs to get back in this fight. Shadow goes down. He does not have buyback. 70 seconds, no Troll. The carry Venge now isolated. There is an Echo Slam connecting onto a bunch, but the follow-up damage is lacking on Team Random right now. They just can't find the kills they need, and it looks like there will be more lockdown coming in as Ember narrowly escapes a dieback, but these racks are toast. They are just getting handed down. Faith Beyond comes in, another Fissure connecting onto 2, but again, where's the damage? It's just not there. With the Troll down, with Blink being too scared to reinitiate, they can't find these kills.
Yeah, oh my god, once that rock and the Shadow Fiend ultimate came out, everyone just melted on Team Random. They just, as you said, they don't have the damage to really bring these cores down. We've got Centaur, who just sits in the front lines, 3,700 HP. He didn't even have his Shivas in that fight. He's sitting on 4,500 gold, by the way. So
that's fair.
Next fight's looking way worse for them. And Shadow Fiend, he had Aegis. This time he held on to his BKB until he respawned. Smart choice. He made sure that he didn't mess up this time and, you know, just get annihilated by the Earthshaker Echo Slam there. Echo came out, but these heroes are starting to tank up. It's not dealing as much damage as it did previously.
Starting to tank up, man. This Centaur, you wouldn't want to run into him on a dark alley. Look at that. He is crazy.
But yeah, he's ridiculously farmed in this game. Second highest on the net worth. Yeah, you know, typically you see Centaur, he's got his Blink and his, you know, his Piper or whatever, and he's not that scary, but this kind of Centaur who's had such a fantastic start, these are the kinds of Centaurs that get really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, the cores on Team Random, they're not slacking. They're still really getting their farm up. You've got Troll still with an 8-second BKB, sitting on 1,400 net worth, or 1,400 golds, looking for the MKB to go against the Butterfly of the Shadow Fiend. So, I mean, they can still do some good damage. You got Ember Spirit again, now with his Radiance, going to be going in for the full Octarine core. But when Ember and Troll aren't in these fights, it just feels like toddlers slapping at the Dire team. They're just doing nothing.
Yeah, they're just ridiculous. And even when these heroes like Troll do go in and they pop their BKB, they just get rooted and they're disabled for their 4 seconds. Like, he needs more time to itemize well against the Tree Root, or he won't be able to hit anyone in these team fights at all. But it may be a little too late here, as Team IG Vitality are knocking on the door right now.
Yep, going in, letting Injuli do his thing, being healed by living armor. They've got a medallion on the Venge if they want to keep him tanky. Like, this is silly. That tower just fed itself to Injuli. And now the
They
Rax.
just can't touch him in the front lines at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, IGV, they can't get too comfortable. They can still very easily fall victim to a 5-man Echo Slam if they get a good blind from the Troll off on all of them, if they get some good follow-up, you know, slight Searing Chains combo. It could still be nasty. They're going to reinitiate here as 3 heroes just tucked between a rock and a hard place. Oh, this is very difficult to deal with. In July, just going to be taking a beating there. We'll get bashed up as Shadow is just running for his life. BKB'd and fleeing. We'll get punched in the corner by dogfights. The real fight still happening over here as pandas are split, and there's just not really a clear game plan from Random here. Looks like Shadow will finally escape. Faith Beyond blinking away to freedom as IGV a little confused on who to initiate on there as well.
Did you see the Tree in that fight? He was man fighting the Troll. He just bashes him, walks back and forth, waits for his Invis and bashes him over and over. Troll just sat there and his BKB gets bashed. Couldn't do anything. Interesting item build here from Venge, going for the Shiva's Guard. He knows that all he has to do is play this kind of supporty role, you know? Tank up, stay alive.
Yeah, Paparazzi picked as the core Venge, but Injuli doing the real work here. Sakata taking a lot of damage. Will get 4 staff down as Injuli just continues to hammer on the Rax. It's now or never. Random, they gotta jump in. They gotta take this fight or they're gonna lose everything that keeps them in this game. Shadow, he's just chucking axes for all he's worth at Injuli, but he's taking no damage. And a full set of Rax goes down. There's gonna be a Blink Stomp Stampede coming in. Oh god, this is it. That's gonna be the rock dropped onto 2. They're going to be rotating back. A good fissure stops the fight temporarily. Blink out from Faith Beyond. He just makes it to his fountain, but can't contribute to this fight. It's just Blink versus the world. Ice drops a fantastic Echo, and Sakata does go down, but it looks like this Earth is getting very, very low. He's going to get graved up. They've now got Ember Spirit isolated. Faith Beyond comes back forward. He's going to be trying to do his best here, but man, this Tree's tanky. Dogfights just crawling next to this, and will end up burning down. Blink trying his best still. Paparazzi will hurricane himself down to the low ground. Super now running away with that Glimmer Cape. You've got Troll now focusing in July. How tanky is this Centaur? He's going to go for his stomp, go for the double edge, but does kill himself. That's going to be 3 heroes dead. Finally an opportunity for Random to breathe and get out of their base. Trying to focus down Paparazzi as well, and it looks like they got a good lock on this Venge. Goes for the Hurricane Pike, trying to take out Faith Beyond, but the Grave is there, and they got the kill. That is a full 5-man wipe, not losing anything on Team Random.
Alright. They're all dead. So is their base. They're in quite the tough situation here. Playing against Mega Creeps right now. But it looks like they're not quite ready to tap out yet. No good game has been called. Just kidding. There it is.
Okay, you know, they had their fight. They had a good fight. The Rax are down.
Feeling good. You know, they kill them all, dancing on their corpses, and then they call a good game.
That's, you know, it's
They're
fair.
with a smile.
All right, so after a really nice fight for Team Random, they just tap out, realizing that it's better off to just focus their effort, focus their mental energy onto game number 2 of this series, because again, it is a best of 3. IGV, they take a 1-game lead, and we're going to be back with game 2 of this series in just a little bit, cutting back to the break. But again, I'm Android, that's Brax. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Kiev Major group stages, and sit tight.